Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I am your host, Chris Shanafel, and I am now joined by 2014 NFL Draft prospect, linebacker out of UCONN, Yawin Smallwood. Thanks for joining the show, man. How's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, it's a pleasure. So I'm going to start this interview off by asking you, being from Massachusetts, how did you decide to attend the University of Connecticut, and how tough of a decision was it?
It wasn't really too much of a tough decision for me. I wanted to stay close to home to make sure that my family and friends and relatives and everyone could come up and watch me during the season. It was a tough stretch between UCONN and Boston College, and at the end, I felt like I was wanting more at the University of Connecticut, and everything turned out really well.
And before committing to UConn, did you know that you would be redshirting your freshman year, and were you all right with that?
Yeah, I go up to school. I go up to UConn a lot. I know they had a bunch of talented linebackers in Greg Lloyd, Scott Lutrick, Lawrence Wilson, so I knew it was going to be a learning experience for me in my first year, and I was okay with that because I know I was going to be learning from a lot of good players.
And can you talk about that 2011 season, Yawin? You're coming off of that redshirt year, and you're named the starting middle linebacker of the UConn Huskies. And you went on to start all 12 games of that season to record over 90 tackles, an interception, and a forced fumble. Did you expect to have that much of an impact on your team that early on in your college football career?
Definitely. I was one of those guys who came in and practiced every single day. I just worked my tail off every single day and just tried to be the best football player that I could be. So, I was given a chance to start that season. I just went in there with high expectations on myself, and I knew all the work that I put in over the summer, over all the course of the year was just going to pay off. And, I was very excited when it did pay off.
And after that season, I got to think your confidence was at an all-time high entering the 2012 season. Am I wrong?
Definitely. I feel like that's what football is all about. If you have a bunch of confidence in yourself, you can go out there and you can play at a high level.
In 2012, you were on the first team All Big East selection as you led the Huskies with 120 tackles, which, if you do the math, that's 10 tackles per game. You also had 2 sacks and 4 forced fumbles. After another big season, what was it like walking around campus? And I got to ask you, are you looked at like a superstar right now around UConn?
I guess you can say that. But, I'm a humble guy. I'm not really into showboat and all that stuff. I just try to keep focused on what's important, what's the final task, and that's just being a great football player in the NFL. So, I never really got caught up in too many things like that, walking around campus like I was a big fan or anything like that. I was just more focused on what's in front of me.
All right, and I want to focus on one game that was played in that 2012 season, Yawin, and that was when you guys traveled and took on Louisville. You guys won that game 23-20 in triple overtime. What are your thoughts on how many people believe the number one overall pick will be Teddy Bridgewater? What are your thoughts on him?
My thoughts about him?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Teddy Bridgewater? I mean, you're one of the few guys that were able to go head-to-head against him.
Teddy Bridgewater, he's a great football player. He's very smart, as you guys have seen. He's very talented. And I think one thing that people don't know about him, he's a tough player. That year we had a lot of defensive prospects on our team, and we were going out there trying to take Ted off. To be honest with you, we were out there trying to kill him. And a lot of times he just kept getting right back up and kept making plays. But I gotta tip my hat off to him. He's a tough guy. He's a great competitor, and he's gonna be a great player in the NFL.
Now you guys weren't like the New Orleans Saints from a few years back where you were putting a bounty on Bridgewater, were you?
Nah, definitely not. It's just part of the game. Defense, we're just trying to get after the guys, and they're trying to get after us. We're just out there trying to get as much pressure on them as we could.
Absolutely, and after that great 2012 season for you, Yawin, what were your expectations entering this past season as you led your team with 118 tackles, 4 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles? Would you say you reached those expectations?
Each year, I'm just trying to get better and better and better. I always play with a chip on my shoulder. I feel like I'm one of the best linebackers in the country, and I was left off that All-American team. And, I just use that to fuel me, I feel like a lot of people don't respect me because I played at the University of Connecticut, but, I really can't control that. So I just try to worry about the things that I can control. I just try and go out there and play as hard as I can each single game and just try and come up with the best results that I can.
Well, I'll tell you this, you are definitely one of the best linebackers in the country, and this is Chris Schanfeld talking with 2014 NFL draft prospect out of UConn, Yawin Smallwood, here on the CS podcast. And looking back at your time at UConn, Yawin, is there one game that sticks out more than others, and if so, can you tell us more about that?
Throughout my whole time at UConn?
Yes, sir.
I would have to say I wasn't even playing back then. It was the game our freshman year. We went on to beat West Virginia. We started off the year real rough, and then our teammates just started to stick together more. And we just kept playing, and eventually we ended up in the Fiesta Bowl. So just a proud moment for me, and a proud moment for our university. Just to show that we never gave up on that season. We just kept fighting, kept pushing ahead. In the end, we made it to the Fiesta Bowl, which was a great thing for our school, our football program.
All right, now I know you made many big plays throughout your college football career, but what do you think has been the biggest play of your college football career?
The biggest play of my college football career?
Yeah, man, I know it's tough.
I would probably say I got a 6-6 against Temple this season. We're 0-9. Things were looking very bad. The team was starting to get down. Campus was down on us as a team. So, it was just real frustrating. And I was able to come back and get a pick six and help us finish the season. So I would have to say that was one of the great plays that I made throughout my college career.
Hey, you can never go wrong with a pick six. Now, as a linebacker, Yawin, what would you rather have, or what feels better? I mean, is it a forced fumble? Is it an interception? Is it a quarterback sack?
The best feeling I would say would be winning. It wouldn't be any of those. I just love to win. But if I had to choose from all, I would have to say I love being a sack.
Hey, man, that is probably the best answer I've heard. Winning. I gotta love it. Now, I believe it was on December 7th that you let the world know that you'll be entering the 2014 NFL Draft. Why do you feel that this is the year that you should come out and not next year?
I just felt like it was the best time for me. It was the best time for my family. I've had a great career at the University of Connecticut. I just felt like it was time for me to move on. A lot of people go to college to find a good job, and I feel like it's the best job that I was going to find.
When did Yawin Smallwood find out that the NFL might not just be a dream, but it could become a reality?
I would say sometime in high school. I started playing real good. I got a scholarship, I felt like I had the opportunity. If I would do all the little things, just keep working hard, just keep staying on task, then I could complete it. And I'm still working towards that, and hopefully it comes true.
Let's say there's an NFL general manager out there listening to this interview. Why should he want Yawin Smallwood, a linebacker out of the University of Connecticut, on his team?
I'm a great football player. I feel like I'm a good football player. I'm very coachable. The mindset to just get each day. I'm working towards being the best football player that I can be and trying to up my level each day. I'm going to study my film, study my playbooks, and just do little things to be the best pro that I can be.
All right, now I see you're ranked pretty high on the draft boards. According to NFLDraftScout.com, you are the second best out of 146 inside linebackers that will be entering the 2014 NFL Draft. Have you been paying attention to stuff like that, where you're ranked and where people have you going in their mock drafts?
I never really pay attention to that. People tell me that all the time, that I'm ranked this, I'm ranked that. I see if I'm not number one, I really don't care about it, It doesn't really mean nothing to me. Doesn't really mean that I'm going to be the second linebacker selected. So, like I said, I'm just going to go out there and try and work on what I can control. I can't control what I'm ranked. I can't control what I get picked. So, I try not to focus on those things. Man,
I love your attitude, man. I love it. I mean, if you're not the best, then you don't even want to hear it. Now, I know you seem like you're a guy that doesn't like to compare yourself, but if you would compare yourself to an NFL player currently playing in the NFL, who do you think that would be and why?
Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo. And why is that?
I feel like he was a guy who people kind of slept on in college. He came out there, he came to the pros, and he did what he had to do. He's just always around football. He's always making plays for his defense. He's a leader on and off the field, which I like to consider myself to be one as well. and he's just a baller. He just goes out there and makes plays every single game.
I know you got an invite to the 2014 NFL Combine. You'll be entering the 2014 NFL Draft. How excited are you for all this stuff to take place, man?
I'm very excited. You know, growing up as a kid, you watch all those things on TV, and you see all those guys. So for me to be a part of that, you know, it's truly a blessing, and I'm just happy that I'm going to be a part of it, and I'm just going to make the best out of my opportunity.
All right, Yawin, my final question for you, and that is, have you even put to thought that the next time you suit up for a football game, that chances are it'll be for an NFL team?
Yeah, I always sit in my room and just kind of think about that here and there, just trying to wonder what team I will play for. But, you know, it's just going to be very exciting. It doesn't really matter who I play for. Whatever coach and GM decides to take me, they're going to get a hard worker and a guy who loves the game of football. So, you know, I'm just very excited for that and just being my teammates and getting through this whole process.
No doubt about that. They will definitely get a great football player, a hard worker. And Yawin, with all that being said, I really do appreciate your time, man. I'm wishing you nothing but the best. I hope we keep in touch. Now, before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to say to myself and our listeners?
I just want to say thanks for reaching out to me for this interview. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Hey, man, my pleasure. Once again, best of luck and take care, all right, man?
Thank you.